I'm thinking now is I look lovingly into your arms or eyes, not arms. The chance. What are you?
I don't know. What are you doing?
The chance of love.
Oh.
No, taking the risk.
I'm sorry.
Well, no return on that investment.
Right. I guess I lost.
Mentally, I'm on an island.
That's a good place to be in January.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
No, it's
Yeah,
true.
we could all be somewhere warmer right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful dumb.
Actually, yeah, where would I be?
We got asked to go to Caribbean cruise just
true.
recently.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Well, with a friend. Like, there's like, hey, I'm going to. No, of course not. They're like, hey, I'm going to this 7-day cruise down into like, was it Cozumel and then to
Belize,
and then
Honduras?
Honduras, yeah.
Roatan?
Oh, maybe it was,
The
yeah.
island of Roatan.
Yeah, and just go kind of all there and then come back and everything. I was like, that's cool. And then the tickets were only like $700 per person, so that wasn't
Not bad.
horrible. Like, you know, we've been on trips that were like $1,400 or more.
Yeah.
Alaska.
If you ever can do things about San Juan.
San Juan?
San Juan?
Juan? Yes.
It's Juan.
There is one actually that I wanted to go on that was out of there.
San Juan?
And I think it went down to
I can say that.
Like
yeah, I think like Colombia, right? Like off the
Oh, yeah.
you mean like
Belize, Nicaragua.
Santa Marta?
yeah, all
That's a real place?
It is.
Oh.
It's actually referenced in his book.
Oh, that's why you like the
Quite
game
a
so
bit,
much.
But
yeah.
it's also on the board game. Like
Sure.
escape from the fortress of San Felipe, I believe.
San Felipe.
Which
It's not a real place.
but yeah, most of the San Juan ones, St. Thomas, St. Kitts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barbados.
I want to go around there really
Those are
badly.
great.
Yeah.
It's like a flight of beers, except every beer is a tropical paradise.
I can write it off as
Sounds
a
wonderful.
research excursion.
That's right.
And I've never done that.
No.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, there's always reasons to like, as writers, we research everything, you know?
But especially for me.
I mean, we went to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and you know that's all sci-fi, and we just got to research that. So,
Hey, Black Bart sailed out of St. Thomas. Therefore, I gotta go.
You got him.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that it's like.
I'm having fun.
After.
Yeah. No, because
Still.
that's for future books. They don't know.
Being there is part of the experience.
Oh, dog! Don't. There's a dog behind me right
We have
here.
a guest, but he's not going to be on camera though. Not like
And
Sibby.
he's also not going to be making noise.
Oh, he actually is a little on camera.
Is
He's
he?
near your butt.
Oh, well, I'm going to cut him out.
Cut his butt off for him.
I mean, we should, so he doesn't have a place to sit. No, that's horrible. Don't do that. Why would you
No
suggest
animals
that?
were harmed in the production of this podcast.
Yeah, just in my mind.
So,
He's a
That's
good
weird.
dog.
He is.
with that said, we are bards and balladeers. Welcome.
Hey.
This is the podcast about story in all its forms: books, games, movies, music, all the things. So yeah, we are all authors. I'm Usgar. I write historical fiction, nonfiction, and fantasy and whatnot.
Oh, we're doing the full description this time?
Why
Oh,
not?
okay.
I'm-
Sorry.
I'm Kate. And I write fantasy, some sci-fi, and whatever the heck I want.
Yeah, heck yeah. And I'm Rio, and I write fantasy currently and hopefully sci-fi soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subscribe and join us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. And anywhere else that you might find us, let us know because we don't know about it.
Well, I hope so, because that's the only ones I selected. If there are other places, I would like to know. But please do subscribe. It helps us a lot. Helps us the algorithm, all that good stuff. And just one click.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Join us on Discord. I think this thing's been away from my
Oh
face
my God.
the whole
Hopefully.
entire time.
So it might have been just him talking. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Like I'll dub him over in my best Oscar voice.
Yeah,
I'll
just,
do
just
it.
dub me in Japanese or something. It'll be fine.
Oni-chan, iTunes.
Podcast.
Podcast. Yeah, I think that's what I would say it. Yeah.
But yeah, join us on Discord where we do all kinds of things like talk in weird accents and show you memes. And yeah, I promise we do that.
We do.
Damn it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those links for all that stuff will be in the description below, plus all of our
author links or their link tree in my author page because I don't have a link tree yet because I'm slow.
He's a link sprout.
What?
I'm link challenged.
Yeah. But you're not Link from Legend of Zelda. So
No. But yeah, so any upcoming events we got? I'll look for a set of events. I'm either going to be at the Canterbury Park thing or the
Rewind. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one day, man, not 3.
Yeah, it's one day
as well.
It's probably going to be like $100 or $150 per table.
I don't care.
Oh, I guess that we're all know divulging secrets.
No, that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, 500 for the other.
Yeah, I was going to say, but then again, that Canterbury thing has tons of people that come to that thing. Like, yeah, I feel like from numbers alone, you're going to do well.
I hope so. I might have to bring a helper.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've got a helper I can bring. So
yeah, a dog.
No,
like this one.
That would not help.
No,
I'm pretty sure it'd just be one more thing for me.
I don't know
after.
because like they'll be like, oh, cute dog. I need, and then put a sign and it'd be like, need money for dog. Like, then they'll buy your book.
Yeah.
Please buy book.
Pity sales are not my biggest category of sales. I don't think that works so well.
Money.
Yes.
I'll take it.
But yeah, hopefully we'll do a live stream at some point in the near future. You guys will be at
VGM Con. Come listen to some music. Yeah, and the Rewind one.
No, the Rewind one, I'll say that there is no heating in the grandstand at the state fair. So if it's a crummy day, kind of get what you have.
It's a crummy day in April. So be advised that's not the worst. Other than that, watch this space for where we'll be and what we'll be doing. Also Discord and all our sites. But today we are talking about gambling.
Yes.
Gambling as it relates to stories.
Yes. Or how it's used well in stories. And
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, gambling.
Yes.
Gambling.
Yeah.
Wow, we sound so excited about this.
Yeah. End of the day,
it's a very interesting topic, I think, because it's one that I won't lie, I haven't used in my storytelling really at all. I'm trying to think maybe Valkus of the Greater Wilds a little bit, where Avalie and Hugo are like kind of playing like they're making fun of Rounian, but no, now that I'm thinking about it, no gambling.
It depends. Like, so we can go the literal route where it's just like I pay money in exchange for like this possibility to happen, or like you're playing a game and you're betting money towards that, or horse races or whatever. But sometimes if we're going to go to like the whole like other side of it, sometimes you take a gamble on a chance, like,
you take a risk and see if it pays off.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's also a gamble of sorts. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to do it. And it's, I think the best uses of gambling and anything is when no one knows what's going to happen. And I'm not saying like the writer hopefully knows what's going to happen or what they want the outcome to be, but it's like them not knowing. So the anticipation that's being built upon that gamble, that chance is what is exciting. It is what you are looking forward to. So then you get to some point in a story where they finally build up to this moment or whatever, and then we get to see the payoff. And hopefully, usually if it's a good story or that the hero wins, and he gets the cards he needs or whatever, or he bluffs well enough where it makes the other person fold or whatever, it's those kind of things that I think are really when gambling is done well. But as we're going to go on further into this, it's also very much a show of character and how people handle gambling, right?
Yeah. Gambling and also just their attachment to winning or losing and all that stuff. Because you can't talk about gambling without talking a little bit about addiction.
Yeah. Do we have to put the number on below since we're talking about gambling? If you have a gambling addiction, call this number.
1-555-555-555.
Here's my Venmo.
Yeah.
Here's a gamble. See if you'll get the money back after you send it to me.
Yeah. We need a Venmo put up there.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. You can have that.
But yeah, no, I use gambling a little bit in my own work. And it's funny, I have to research some of the games because a lot of the ones we think of now they don't go back that far.
Sure.
They have precursors and things like that, but I do have to research it. Like instead of playing poker, they're playing 3-card brag or something like that.
Or 3-card Monte.
I could not tell you how to play it. 3-card brag, but it mentions it in there.
Sure.
So, I did the research enough to be like, oh, it's a betting game.
If I ever have a story where I need like a card game, like a betting, like poker type game, I will put in this card game called Viuda, which is like the widow. In Spanish. Yeah. And it's where you like actually have everybody has their own hand they're playing with their 5 cards. And there's a shared card hand of 5 that everyone can see. And you go around and you switch out 1 card until somebody knocks and then they get one more time around. And it's like, I remember this game so much because my parents used to play with their friends and they would get together and they would actually gamble and they would everyone put money in the pot and whoever was last one out, or last one standing would get the money. And it's just, with friends, I guess, using in that story context, it's very much communal. Like, we were talking about board games and stuff like that last time. Using it as a way just to spend time with each other and play games is fun. But sometimes, when you come home with like an extra $50 or anything, it's kind of nice. Now you get to go buy a new pair of shoes or whatever you're going to buy with it. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing I buy when I win.
Shoes. Yeah.
Shoes.
Yeah. I know. I've seen your closet.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How many shoes I don't have. No, yeah. It's only when I win. No, I buy them when I lose to console myself.
Yeah.
No, a lot of the time people do it when they're, because they're bored.
Sure.
It happened a lot on ships back in the day, except when a lot of the time your wise captain would like forbid it.
Oh.
They'd forbid drinking and gambling aboard.
Interesting.
My captain's not so wise in my.
I mean, I understand drinking, but why the gambling?
Because it can create conflict on board and create debt issues. I even remember another Babylon 5 reference for you. First season, there's a security guard where they call him into the office like, we've become aware that you've got some outstanding gambling debts, and you're aware that there are strict regulations on that with security personnel because that can create conflicts of interest. It can basically put you in a position where you could be compromised.
Yep.
If you're a security personnel.
Yeah. It's like, remember that money you owe me? Is like, hey, you let me through. We'll kind of forgive that or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that was a really good way to put that in the story.
It's funny you mentioned that because one of the things that I found interesting, like one of the only things I could think about, when it came to gambling is how often like it's almost used as like an inciting incident where somebody owes somebody something and now they're going to do something bad. And that sort of like sparks a story, or like they owe something to somebody and that debt and trying to get out of it, like Squid Games in a way.
Yeah.
Brings them to do something very drastic or very dramatic to try to get out of it.
Right.
And I think it's a big thing. And I think obviously gambling and, debts and whatnot has gone back a long time in human history in society, right?
I'm sure it's gone back further than currency. I mean, because I could see even with barter or something, somebody just has to prove that they're right.
Sure.
And it's like, I'll bet you.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true.
And sorry, Jaffer, I still owe you $10.
That's why I don't gamble. No, I mean, gamble. You gamble all the time though, without knowing sometimes, you know.
Again, the broader definition, the risk taking and
calculated risks.
Even just like I can balance these on one hand as far as the table.
Yeah.
That's a gamble.
Right.
That's true. Okay.
Or like the one I'm thinking now is I look lovingly into your arms or eyes, not arms. The chance. What are you?
I don't know. What are you doing?
The chance of love.
Oh.
No, taking the risk.
Sorry.
Well, there's no return on that investment.
Right. I guess I lost. No, but taking a chance on love and taking a chance on asking the girl out or like doing any of that stuff, making your move and stuff like that. Like you're never going to win unless you take the chance, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. If you don't play, you can't win.
No.
That was the most awkward way of me trying to display love to you ever. Now
I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I was reaching my hand up for you. It's like, just get that away. Like,
you were looking me lovingly in the arms.
That's where it started going off the rails.
I never said I was a smooth man, but I won somehow.
So risk taken, not like you said, the investment, not repaid. But that is a good, example because I never really think of these things as like gambling. But you're right, risk taking is essentially the same thing.
Sure.
And obviously, like in my own writing, you have to have your characters taking some kind of risks to a degree, because if they're taking a risk, there's some kind of conflict that they're trying to overcome, maybe, probably, which is what you want for plot. Mm-hmm. So I think I must do it more often than I think, just not thinking it in that way, or I'm controlling my writing too much.
And honestly, any character that makes a decision is taking a risk. Even the ones that are really risk averse, deciding on anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there's that whole Rush line. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Right.
It can be risky not to decide things, you know?
Right. Like Rush?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Maybe that's why you thought about it subconsciously.
Rush. Why is Rush in my brain?
No, but that's true. I do have a couple characters that they're sort of like in catch-22 situations. And I think those situations are sometimes often my favorites, because there really is no winning in that. It's just the lesser of two evils kind of thing. Which I love putting my characters into those situations, specific ones, I guess I should say, because some of them, there's one character that if I put them into that situation, they wouldn't care. They would just choose one. Mm-hmm, and because being decisive is easy for them.
Yeah.
And they're fun. And then my other, like you said, how did you phrase it? Decision adverse?
Risk averse.
Risk averse. Yes.
But yeah, like making any decision is a risk.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like, so like Salil, like for example, to bring her up, she just makes decisions all the time. And she just like, whatever way it would happen, she makes it work for her because she's crazy. No, she's fun. She's fun.
No, I mean,
yeah, yes, I like how you equated fun and crazy there.
Yeah. She's like the fun crazy, whereas there are some people that are like maniacal crazy. Yeah. No, Salil is
because they don't care about the outcome and they just do it and then like, well, I'll deal with it. Like Salil is one. She's just adaptable. Very adaptable, very fluid with her decisions. She's like, if it doesn't work, she'll continue to try and do it a different way, right?
Kind of Jack Sparrow-esque, but not as like, not as like it just ends up working out for him.
I think he's smarter than he thinks, but he acts the fool. Like, you know, he's just, that's his just personality, I guess, you know.
He knows when to take a risk on his luck.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Or speaking of like risky, the Master Chief was chosen because he was lucky. And everything.
I love that.
Yeah. Like he literally, his superpower is that he just comes out on top and everything. Like, you know, it's not
That's a great superpower to have.
Isn't it?
It's actually Domino from Deadpool 2 has that same effect. Yeah. Where she just like everything she does just turns out well for her. Like, you know, if she like a guy pulls a gun and cocks and pulls a trigger
it's gonna
and it jams, you know, she's just lucky, you know.
I want it to be a literal, like a superpower where the person literally comes out on top. So you couldn't even bury them. You know?
Well, something would happen where like they would try to bury her and then like the crane would like fall in there and throw her up to the air or something like that. Yeah. You know, it's just
like a cat always landing on its feet.
Right,
you know, and exactly, I think it's like
dead.
I think it's I think with the Master Chief is like they picked him because he was lucky, but I don't think it's like he has some kind of special power. I think with all possibilities being true, someone's going to be lucky. Lucky. That's always gonna like he makes a decision. Again, what they say, like luck is I'm gonna say this wrong, where like I'm not luckily. I just keep doing things like make me lucky, or how's that phrase go? I forgot. There's something like that.
Practice makes me lucky. Or whatever, like the golfer.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
and I think he's
like, it's all just luck. Well, you practice a lot though, right? Oh, practice makes me luckier.
Yeah, and I think it's the same idea. Like his choice, his choices make him lucky, and he's smart about his choices. You know.
And in a way too, like similar to that, it kind of reminds me of like when you're playing like a role-playing game and you roll your dice a couple times to try to get the bad rolls out.
The superstition.
Which I mean, do superstitions sort of play into risk-taking or gambling at all?
At gambling, almost so many gamblers are very superstitious.
Like blowing the dice, sweetheart, and then you roll the dice, you know, like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of I mean, anytime there's a system, 9 times out of 10, there's some kind of superstition.
Sure.
True.
Yeah. You know, never hit on this or whatever. Never do that.
Right. Or like how they will like if they walk on a crack while they're walking towards the game or whatever, it's like, oh no, now I'm gonna fumble or something. You know, if they're playing football, I guess that's an analogy. But there's things that like just people like, or it's the same thing with hockey. You know, no one will shave their beards.
That's true.
If they're on a streak, you know, they'll just be like,
they don't wash their jerseys.
Is that a thing too? Oh man,
the hockey smell, guys. AJ. One of the worst smells on the face of the planet. Yeah. Not as bad as the smells of a submarine, apparently, but
what's the taste of a hockey player?
I don't know. Ask their wives, I guess.
No,
I like it when they came right out there. It's like peeling a hot dog out of its like skin.
This was not a good risk to take. But it's funny then that superstitions actually do have a lot to do with gambling. I never really made that connection before. And I actually, with the characters that I was mentioning that do take risks all the time that I write, I've never written like actually one of them, Veriseth, I keep mentioning him this month. He is not superstitious at all. He is the type of character that while everybody else has these like spiritual, like magic, you know, capabilities and connections to this magic system, he's like the dud. He's like the muggle. He's like the person that he's not interested in it and he has no like connection to it. But he's also like the most gambling person because of how much he like trusts himself in his own way. He's like
it's
arrogant.
Han Solo.
Yeah.
I don't believe any mystical force.
Yeah.
Oh God, you're luckier than everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Exactly. And so
Until he does believe it.
Yeah.
It's all real.
It's
all of it.
All of it. And so now I want to go back in and like add that as like a layer for that person, a layer.
Princess layer.
Because I think
She's an onion.
it just like, it's an interesting connection that it must be like this risk taking, being able to just like hope or something in one of the options that you're dealt with. Like it's very like intuitive, I guess, in a way.
I sort of think of them as positive conspiracy theories.
Ooh.
There's a rhyme or reason to like why I'm doing whatever. Kind of, like, sorry, I wrote a whole essay on it. Now I can't remember.
No, it's okay.
But
it's an essay.
Like there's even a show called Red Dwarf. I brought up a few times, sci-fi British comedy, where there's an episode where they're discovering some scientists have been working on positive luck viruses, or positive viruses like luck or, you know, sexual charisma or things like that.
Oh.
That they're viruses that people contract for brief periods of time or something. Which I thought was an interesting little idea. And they get out of their situation by like, they've got a sample of the luck virus and they have to get out of a door. And
oh my gosh.
Like, that's now what do we need now? And like, we need this. And he's like, I tripped on it. It's pretty good. It's one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
You know, speaking of comedy and using gambling for comedic purposes or stuff like that. Did you ever watch Married with Children back in the day? Christina Applegate's character, the daughter, what was her name? I can't remember.
Why can't
Jessica?
Kelly?
Oh,
is it Kelly? Yeah,
is it Kelly.
It might have been Kelly. Either way, Christina Applegate, the daughter, she was kind of bimbo, dumb, you know, airhead.
Right.
Al Bundy took her to the casino, and she was just like, they're playing craps, and then she was just saying numbers, and then the number would come out. Like when she rolled it, and it's just like I guess she was just so like empty headed that the numbers came to her and she became like clairvoyant. I don't know.
So it's a conduit for the numbers.
Yeah. So everybody is like betting on the numbers. Like what number is like, 17, like, you know, and then everybody's winning and everything. And then Al Bundy's like, oh my God. And he figures it out. And he's like, you got to tell me what the number is. What's the next number going to be? And it put so much pressure on her. And she's just like, 13. And it's like, oh, right, 13. And then it was wrong because he forced her to do it and everything. And it wasn't it just the natural whatever number came into her. So she thought of the number instead of letting the number come to her, like, you know. Right. And that was a funny, I always think about that to this day because I'm totally going to use it in a book that I'm writing in a different manner. Not about
different
gambling.
enough to avoid litigation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be more fantasy and everything. So it's fine. But
no gambling.
But I love no gambling. Yeah. I love that concept as like the dumb airhead is the one that got all the answers right or whatever. So
but cursed to never be believed.
Right.
You know, that's like a Cassandra, like I think is like either Greek or Roman.
Oh,
yeah. She was like a witch or a oracle,
sure.
or somebody that gives prophecies.
Yeah, oracle.
And she would never be believed because of it. I think
I believe it. It's probably a story out there.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
I've definitely seen at least one other example of a sort of like airhead who comes up with the right number because, just like a little voice in my head told me. And then it turns out to be right. And that's kind of typical for that character.
Yeah.
So there is a perceived correlation there with with like not having too strong of a mind and being more intuitive or something.
Right.
Which, like there's some scientific backing to a different version of that. Not quite that one, but just, your ability to transcend your mind puts you more in that space.
Right. Because the more you think of it, the more you double think, and then the more you hesitate or anything. It's like when you throw something or you're in a sport and everything, when you hesitate, it's that split second that you are going to be off or whatever, or like you're thinking about how you're going to release a ball if you're pitching or whatever. And that small, minute change is what changes everything,
Yeah. Like the guy who wrote the book about golf. He was talking, he did write about the psychic side of sports, like with golf specifically. But also I know Michael Jordan said he had this one night where the basket felt 10 feet wide to him and just couldn't miss.
Oh, wow.
Cause you just get into that
flow
space.
State.
Yeah. That flow state where you can just do it.
Yeah.
Don't think, feel.
Just do.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee, I think, had that a lot.
Sure. Oh yeah. And that's one reason why I love learning about that, because it's where the body sort of transcends and meets the mental, spiritual, connection.
It's the body mind integration.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I think that we are, whatever you're doing, whether it's sports, writing, playing music, that's where you are. This is my own theory, just my own opinion, I should say, is that's not your true purpose, but that's where you are one of your most true selves, is when all of those are connected, when all of those are working together.
There's a lot of scientific data backing that up too. So
nothing to do with gambling, but but I guess you have to sort of take risks to get there, I guess. Trying to tie it back into it, not really doing too well.
Yeah, you're fine.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that because it's kind of well known, even if people haven't been in touch with any scientific data, it's sort of well known that this happens with sports and skill-based things. Now, we just talked about how gamblers often have superstitions and they have a system and whatever. Yeah. So they then assume that it also applies to what they're doing. The difference is it applies to things that are under your control for the most part.
Yeah.
And so much of gambling is not in your control, but gamblers, the whole point of superstitions with the gambling is this projection, this superstition that more of it's under your control than it actually is. And that's where the delusions come in.
Right.
And that's why, that particular addiction, when you crash out of it, you get the most, suicidal people.
Yeah.
Because the reality of things weighs on them. It's almost like they do go into sort of an amplified state in a way, a high, maybe. I don't know the scientific background of it.
Or when they lose stuff, when they lose everything, that's the thing.
They're suddenly confronted with the fact that they actually don't have control over.
Yeah.
And no one wins. House only wins. That's the thing, is it's maybe
except when someone wins.
And but that's the thing. We're talking about percentages. It's sure you'll see. And I think that's actually one of those things that I think is funny, not funny, but when in stories, they use other people who are winning to convince the other person to come in and then play the game. And then that's when they start cheating or whatever. The purveyor will say and everything oh yeah, the shell game is really easy. And it's one of their buddies, So it's just kind of a fun way to see how gullible people are. Because that's the biggest thing. Again, I don't think we talked too much yet about it, is how much this affects people and how we use it to show what these people are capable, or you can't trust these people because they're very impulsive, or maybe it's that comeback story where like they fall from grace and they learn how to like, now they want to get back at the casino who robbed them of their money. Now they're going to find a way to get the money back, start counting cards or whatever. There's a really good movie with Kevin Spacey, unfortunately, with about counting cards. I forgot what it was called.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I know.
Yeah.
I know gambling as manipulation does appear in a lot of places, like you're saying with the 3-card Monty. But also, I know in Band of Brothers there's a point where they're suckering some new guys, like, guys throwing darts, and like dart after dart. And then they're like, yeah, I don't know. You want to gamble? I don't know if I want to gamble. Oh, okay, whatever. A pack of cigarettes, whatever.
Yeah.
And they get into these guys. Okay, well, double or nothing. I'll get it back now.
Sure.
And then his friend's like, hey, when are you going to throw right-handed? He's like, see, because he's right-handed. And he's just like, then just wins it all back. And then some.
Sharking.
Exactly. It's the manipulation. That's used in a lot of fiction.
Yeah. It's true. Because I think it also, it shows a lot about character too. Like how much is this character wanting to reveal? I think that's a fun trope. I mean, one I just think of as like kind of like a Black Widow-esque type character.
Oh, sure.
Like you don't show all of your. Yeah,
she seems, just normal or like,
she gives the image that she wants them to see versus, what she actually is, which is ruthless.
It reminds me of that episode of Frasier where you find out like when you reveal that somebody's like really good at something, when they shark or they gamble or whatever, when they're like not acting as good and then all of a sudden they're really good, where Daphne is she has like 7 brothers or something like that. So she learned how to play pool from all of them. She was youngest and everything. So they just thought she was like a timid, girl who doesn't know how to play pool. And then she's like, growing back in Manchester, I played with my 8 brothers, and she's sinking hole after hole after hole and everything. And then she gets to that last one and she misses. She's like, well, I'm not that good. And she grabs the money and then they run out of the bar or whatever. But it's because I think, it works really well with comedy. Like I love seeing it in comedy. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's movies like Maverick where they're playing cards and everything. It's all about like the whole world of card playing and stuff like that.
And there's the superstition that if I cut the card, if I think really hard, I can cut the card I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that and everything, or how you shuffle or anything like that, if like, or when you roll dice, you got to like touch your knee first and then like hit your forehead and do like, people have all these weird different things like that they got to do. And it's kind of crazy.
One of my favorite things, I guess, since I think you mentioned casinos, Rio, maybe Oscar did, but with casinos and whatnot are heist movies, which is definitely taking a risk. It's calculated risks. And I think we maybe touched on this a little bit during our competence porn episode.
Ocean's 11 and such.
Yes, love it so much. But the idea of like, again, trying to get revenge on, the casino, because I think he's trying to, in those films, the guy that owns the casino, I can see his face.
I forget his name.
I know.
No.
I think because he like either ends up taking his wife or she left him to be with him. I don't know. Somebody give me the summary down below. Yeah. But the guys of like, taking the risk of, I'm trying to look like I'm normal over here, but I've actually, planned out this entire thing behind the scenes, and the timing of everything too with those risks. I think it's just a lot of fun.
Well, and even just any kind of gambit like that, where there's a plan and characters go for a while with no support, and you just see it. It's that overlap of confidence and gambling. Again, Koya in The Hold. Okay, I can't see anything. This is the plan. If it doesn't work, I'm stranded on this enemy ship.
Yeah, it's a big risk for a lot of different reasons too. And I think that for her, it's even like she knew she had to do it too. And so for her, it was a risk, but it wasn't in a way, I think for Koya, like I think she was like destined to kind of do that. I don't know how you felt when you were writing it.
Well, I mean, I'm the reason she was destined to.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, just, she has to have a reasons to do it.
Yeah.
But also it's still part of a grander plan, another larger gambit.
Right.
So all these ships that move at different speeds are telescoped out a certain direction because of the wind and everything. And they're all going to catch up at the same time. So there's this whole plan and watching it play out. But again, it's all a risk. Any one piece of it could go wrong, and then it's a bad gamble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everything could go south. And even once it works, there's still a battle to fight where the odds aren't great.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's, and again, odds is another thing we haven't talked about. It's just like, was C3PO? It's like, oh, the possibility of making it through this Esser field is like, set 1 to whatever he says.
Yeah.
And he's like, never told me the odds. And then it's like, that's those two different mentalities. Like one person needs to have all the information, has to know all these things so they know to make a wise choice. And other guys like, sometimes you just got to choose. Let's go. Like, you know,
Right.
So.
It's sort of like, you know, any mathematician will tell you how unlikely it is that you'll win the lottery. Yeah. But then there's the counter to that. The answer is every time someone wins the lottery, somebody wins.
Right.
That person had a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can't win if you don't play. Like that's always the thing.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter what the odds are if you're the winner.
Yeah. You want to know a weird like evolution of this all is so horse racing. That's another gambling thing, right? You know,
And it plays a lot in historical fiction too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it's always one of these things where people like, I picked that horse because I like the name and like sparked me. And this thing, this whole thing evolved in Japan to where now there's like this gacha game, which gacha games are like basically free mobile games that make you pay for like pulls of like certain characters to try to get, it's gambling, you know, because you never know what you're going to get for characters. But it like, and now you have this horse racing game where the horses are actually anime girls that have like little horse ears and tails. And it's just like, but it's a weird like evolution of that and everything, but it's still gambling, you know, it's still people paying real money for fake digital stuff. Like I play this other game, Kate calls it my dolls game, where it's girls with guns basically. And like you can pay to get more pulls and chances at getting these girls or whatever. But I never pay any of that. It's like, I'm not going to pay money for it, but it's still fun. But like, you really can't do the best things without having the best characters. So they make people and they call people who spend a lot of money on these like games whales, because they don't make money off of everybody. They make money off of these people who spend thousands of dollars on this.
They're called that in regular
like
stocks and stuff too. And crypto, the crypto whales are the people with the massive accounts. They're spending huge amounts one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so because they track the different like crypto wallets.
Yeah.
Even if they don't know who they belong to, like, oh, this wallet did this and then it did that.
Yeah.
And so like this one's, you know, a $300 million wallet. Like that's a whale.
Yeah. They don't know who it is, but it's just like they can see when it moves.
Yeah. They notice that with certain, you know, like insider trading that goes on, like, oh, this person is connected to the president this way. So like, because you can see that with stocks or crypto or whatever.
Same idea, right?
Yeah.
You know, gambling with people's money.
And manipulating things.
Yeah.
Because manipulating the factors that'll help you win is another aspect of gambling. But like I worked in the vending industry for a few years. I was an accountant for like a company that we had management contracts with vendors that had like, you know, those like little capsule vending machines, not the food stuff, but like the little capsules with toys and the little temporary tattoos and all that stuff.
Stickers
and the crane machines. In Washington and Oregon, you had to have a gambling license for the crane machine.
Sure.
Because you put money in and you don't know if you're getting something out, and they classified them as gambling machines. And I thought that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That's the definition of gambling. Of course it is.
Don't those machines are programmed to like only pay out also after so many things?
The cranes?
The cranes, because they don't have the grip strength until like a certain play. Like
they're not really, but I'll tell you, there is a trick to filling them that this is really shady, but like they'd cram them in towards the bottom and they have a few loose around the top.
Sure.
So that you can get those like, oh, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
It's
taking advantage of people with, you know, like addictive personalities.
Well, the whole like internet is like that, right?
I know. Yeah.
Doom scrolling and everything, you know?
Yeah. And so it's also like, I think someone I know who used to work at Mystic Lake, I don't want to name names because of the content, but was aware like that they could turn on certain machines, like kind of mess with the machines, like from the back. And they would do it a lot with the ones near the door.
To make them winners, you mean?
Yeah, like the slot machines. because you're getting your newbies come in, if someone you don't recognize, like these will hit. You get it early, and then you get hooked.
Yeah,
and then just drains all your money.
Yeah,
which that's highly illegal.
Yeah.
So take what you will from that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that this is true. This is alleged.
Alleged.
But I think that's the thing. That's the nice thing about gambling is when they beat the system, when they can find a way to get through that. Like when a character knows that, oh, that person's cheating and everything, I'm going to go and beat them because I know how to counteract their cheating or whatever, you know? And it just, is it honor among thieves? Is it honorable to cheat the cheater? You know, like when does that become a play in the character development, you know?
I love when characters get humbled, good characters and especially bad characters. And I think it's kind of that situation. Whereas like, obviously if a good quote unquote good person cheats the cheater, you know, like that's more so just satisfying, I guess, not necessarily good.
Sure.
Because there's actually a great Avatar: The Last Airbender episode where Toph, Aang, and Sokka.
Oh, that's right. With the dice, right?
Yeah, with the dice, because she can make the dice like flip one more time and go in their favor, but she's playing like this. Oh, I'm a blind person. I don't know how to play this game.
Yeah, but you can feel the dice or whatever. Yeah,
and so I think it's often has to do kind of like. What was the morality stories we were talking about a couple weeks ago? Oh, the swearing episode.
Oh, sure.
So kind of has to do with almost like morality tales in a way. Or sometimes just leads into action films, not films, stories, or, you know, risk taking for, I would say like in a way, the Koya scene in your book, like might make people empathize with Koya more. Because of, you know, her taking that risk, you know, and putting herself into that situation and being willing to face the consequences of whatever happens for, you know, what she believes in.
Having a reason that's not about profit helps people identify with the character.
And I think even Salil in Ascend, like I'm going to just mention she's taking a gamble on building up friends and trusting the people that she's slowly starting to work with more and more, and
how they actually benefit her.
Yes.
Like, not just like benefit her as like a being selfish, but like, hey, actually, if I give, I can get, and I'm willing to be vulnerable and take that chance, right? But I was gonna say too is like at the very end, and a little spoiler, she attempts something that she knows is crazy, but if she doesn't do it, she's not gonna win, or no one's gonna win, you know. So she's got to do something, you know. So taking that chance.
She takes her shot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know what you have to do, but you just know you have to do something.
Any action sometimes is better than any inaction.
That's speed. That's speed.
Really?
Like, I don't know what I got to do, but I got to do something, Pops.
Oh,
yeah, he says that, like, you know.
And, go Speed Racer.
I thought you meant the movie Speed.
No. Go Keanu.
I remember that part.
I've
seen that one.
Speed Racer. Sorry, 2009. Watch it. It's an amazing film, best film ever made.
But also, I think how have you guys seen gambling or risk taking even? But I was thinking more specifically with traditional gambling. How does that show different kinds of character? Like I was thinking status, like dice versus cards, lower skill versus higher skill, different classes of people. Like, you know, like cards is an officer's game. Dice is like, you know,
I think it's because getting some of those things is harder. Like anybody can make a pair of dice technically, right? You know, you can get some mud or something. I don't know, but, or even carve a stone or whatever, or whittle a piece of wood. But cards, that's paper. That's like, you know, a specific deck of 52 cards that are printed or whatever you want to say back in the day. But it's also, I think cards and dice have become like synonymous with anybody's game nowadays. Like,
it's a random element.
But
I see what you mean, where like anybody can get cards or dice.
Right. But back in the day it was different. So to your point, like societally or like only officers would have that, but it's just like, I'm trying to think of like other games more like that again, where those higher level, like gambling games like Baccarat or like craps tables, stuff where like you needed a full size roulette kind of thing. You know, you can't not just nobody can do that. And then you had to pay to play too. Like, you know, it's harder to play that.
I think that was definitely more an upper class sort of thing, because I think one reason that dice was accessible to everybody was that you didn't have to have any particular level of intelligence to have an equal chance of winning.
Sure, you just roll the dice, right?
Just like it's Candyland, you know, going back to our board games.
Yes.
Where it's like, hey, I had a 50-50 shot of winning this. Well, because it's all random.
Right.
But where there's skill involved, you know, then it's a sign of intelligence. Like I know I've got a diplomat that I show in the first book, like winning at cards. Yeah. And other people over there playing dice. But there's a couple people who are like the more intelligent characters playing cards. Yeah. And you sort of see a correlation. Sure. So I'm wondering, like, other ways that you've seen like gambling showing character in some way. Not even necessarily that the status way, but just.
I think for me, it's and at least in my writing, it's the choice to gamble or not. Like games, actually, like the people that will play it just have different, I don't know, mentalities. Like they occupy psychology. Yeah. And they occupy their mental space differently versus like wanting to fill that space with like being entertained versus just like sitting in wherever they are, meditating, whatever, what have you. So I think character choices, the concept of gambling, I guess, sets certain characters apart in my stories, which I never thought about. Like, of course, people like officers, everybody would play some kind of game because there was nothing else like to do. You know, that's kind of what you did to pass the time. So it makes me think more about my characters, although they have other games too, of course, like more like board game chess type things. Sure. Which I think is less like gambling and more just like strategy, but you do take risks in strategy too. So it's, as I'm saying that, the characters that don't participate in like the gambling side do play their own games. So it still shows a bit about their characters, but
I think too, another thing with like gambling is seeing those characters who want to test their mettle, want to see, like, get to themselves to that point where they're playing with the big boys and everything. And if they come from lower stats or whatever, or they're just like, you know, a beautiful mind kind of thing, where it's just like, I like seeing the underdog story, you know, that's always fun to see and watching them. But then also, especially like when you have like this person coming into like higher society or something, they're not supposed to be, like if they're playing against mobsters and then like don't win against the mobsters, it's not going to turn out good for you, you know, you know, and then
let the Wookiee win.
Yeah. Let the Wookiee win. Exactly. Yeah. So that's always a fun story. And that's a good way to show that somebody who just wants to see if they can, only for the sake of like, not even about the money. I mean, it's nice, right? But to see that they can do that and figure out the best way to do stuff, you know.
One thing I think too, is that you'll notice this is a similarity between, like, you know, pirate stories, but also military soldiers. Both groups tend to gamble more, I think, because every day they're putting their life on the line anyway. Sure. They've already got these risks. And so everything is a risk. And like, you know, well, I'm not going to do well just socking my money quietly away and hoping I don't get killed. It's like every day you might get killed. You might get rich off of blowing your cards. But also one thing they both have in common is that room and board and all their necessities are taken care of.
Right. My brother talks about this actually, because when he was in the Air Force, he's like, he bought so much stuff, like not gambling, but he just bought a lot of stuff because he had to worry about any of the other stuff.
Yeah. Like that, when you know that you don't have to worry about, you know, where you're sleeping, you know, where, what you're eating, your medical care, you're like, well, I can do whatever I want with all my money. It solidifies that as taken care of. Yeah. And then if the other side of your life is, who knows what'll happen day to day, then I would think it could ratchet that up to the point where when you get out of the service, you might have a gambling problem.
Sure.
You know? Like where you're like, well, this became a habit. And now that the fighting is over, I don't know how to kick this habit. You know, what's
kind of a counter to that, and I'll kind of wrap it up here a little bit, is that, people who are on Social Security, or when they like get to their later lives and they just have this expendable cash all of a sudden and everything, they're gambling all the time and everything. I remember this one guy I used to work with. He worked at the factory to continue to get medical insurance, and then every time he gets his paycheck, he'd like go to the casino and drop like $5,000. Like it was nothing, you know, because he had all this, and he didn't need the extra cash. It was just his fun money. And he like you said, he doesn't know if he's going to die anytime soon. It's like, might as well have fun with it.
Well, and that's the thing with people who get money in a really easy way. They sort of don't feel attached to it or like they earned it, like easy come, easy go. And so one of the things you'll see people who win a lot at gambling do is blow at gambling because they don't feel like, oh, I won $10,000. It's like, yeah, but you didn't feel like you earned the $10,000. So you're like, this is expendable money.
There's no difference between winning like 10,000 versus like $1, you know, to them.
Right.
It's the excitement of playing the game. That's all that matters. Like when you get that ding, ding, ding and you get the payoff and everything, endorphin rush, you know, like,
like, what do you do now that you won 10 grand? Well, you know, I'll blow $1,000 on this bet. And then you think, would you normally blow $1,000 on a bet?
Right.
I mean, these people will.
Yeah, different types of characters, different types of personalities. But definitely blow what?
I was going to say, if you guys want to blow 10,000 or $1,000 on us, check out our webpage and we have a donation.
We do, yes.
Invest in us.
Yes,
take a risk on us.
Yeah.
Take a chance.
Take a chance.
Take a chance.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We obviously this was a topic that I think we could talk about in many different ways, you know, different types of risk, different types of characters and how they do it. And, but if you liked any particular thing, let us know in the comments. Let us know in Discord if you want to talk about something else more that you liked that we talked about.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could say talk about more in the last few sentences.
You could try.
I could try. I'll take that gamble.
I'll try.
So anywho, I'm Kate.
I'm Rio.
I'm Oscar.
We'll check you next time.
See ya.
Bye.